Hello. Oh, hello. Hello. Owl. Owl. Hi. How is everyone? Hello, Donut. Hi, Soviet. Hello, Prince. Hello, Hugo. The quack. The quack. I like how Donut sent a meow on YouTube chat, and then in all caps, meow in Twitch chat. Oh, um, all right. So first off, let's get certain things out of the way. First off, the first thing that I will do is I will eat. I do not care. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm saying, aww. Welcome back. But yeah, first thing I will do is I'm gonna fucking eat. Cause I was given food literally as I was setting shit up for stream. So I have to eat. I must, because I'm sick. Um, but also, today's drinks, I don't have much, just the regular ones. I've got Monster and I've got water. Yeah, I've got water. Today's Monster flavor is Pacific Punch. I fucking love Pacific Punch so much. It's such a good flavor. Had some bad news given to me, but other than that, okay. Hi, man. We're going to eat soon, though. Oh, I'm gonna be eating right now too. So it's all good. And I'm sorry about whatever bad news it was. I really hope everything is okay. Um, but yeah. Tell me, Donut, do tell us how your trip went, and as well as everyone else, how is everyone doing? I hope everything's been okay. Um, it's been a long, long week for me. I'm not gonna lie. Cause holy shit, like the last week of internship has somehow been just the fucking hardest. Not. Ah! Nobody heard that. 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 Thank you so much for the monster, Hugo. That did not happen. I have the goddamn Switch with me. Oh, the cursed one. Trip was weird. I have so much to yap about. Oh, do tell. Um, feel free to yap about it while I'm streaming, or like while I'm eating, not streaming, while I'm eating, because you won't get the chance to actually get a response out of me about when I'm actually reading creepypastas, because I will be focused on that. My day has been good. Vaccinated from. Oh, it smells so good. Half scream, half nothing. I see. Is that good or? Because on a day where I'm doing nothing, it's generally a good day for me. This shit straight up drugs, bro. Like, straight up just addiction in a can. Is Fent like a powder? Like cocaine? Question mark? Like, I don't know. I don't know what Fent is. 5 other friends and I spent the weekend at my friend's cottage in the middle of the woods. That is so cute. What the fuck? Fent is a liquid if I remember right. Borderline Fent in this can, bro. Can of Fent. That is a joke for legal reasons. That is a joke. I am not in the possession of any drugs. I promise. Give me one moment. Let me go wash my hands. Alright guys, I'm back. Oh. Are we gonna go eat? Yeah, you go eat, you go. Eating good, you don't own any drugs. You are the... Damn! Is this Riz? Is this Riz, chat? Chat, is this Riz? Oh my god. And thank you for the lyric, Hugo, if you're still here. Or if you can hear me. Um... Damn, bro. What the fuck are you saying? I mean... Soviet... Did you not see what Soviet said? You might be a little slow, bro. I did, yeah. That is very Rizzler coded. I'm a lot slow, actually. It's okay to be slow. I'm glad you came out to us, and we're proud of you. And I forgive you. Glad you accept my slowness, of course. We accept all people of the LGBTQ community. That is very offensive. I shouldn't say that. One moment. Okay, then mom was talking to me. Hello. Bro, on my trip, I was just looking at the Discord shrimping and being sad because I can't because my earphones. How did your earphones break? Oh no. Dog, over the past week, so much happened. Like, it just feels like this today. Wireless earphones just aren't turning on. And this is why wired earphones are just better. My wired earphones are in horrendous condition, but they still work perfectly. Like, you'll look at them and you'll think, man, she could just use a different pair of earphones. But why? Because this shit works amazingly, right? And this is why everyone should switch to wireless. And I still want to thank Unix if he is still here. I want to thank Unix for getting me the adapter because holy shit, I love wearing my wired earphones. Is YouTube chat scuffed or is nobody typing? Nobody's typing. Literally nobody's in YouTube chat. Nothing is scuffed. Nothing is scuffed, guys. It's just that nobody's there. Donut sent one single meow before stream started. Working stream, yippee! Yeah, it's a rare occasion. Yeah, Unix, I'm thanking you. Thank you so much for the adapter, for the earphone adapter thingy. It has genuinely made my life so much easier. I'm genuinely happy. I love wearing my wired earphones. It makes me feel cool. I don't know how to explain it. It makes me, like, when I'm walking in public, It makes me feel cool. No clue what you sussed. I did not, in fact, sussed. So you're good. Said. Also, we went to an amusement park yesterday, and I am completely fine with never getting on a roller coaster again. I've never been on a roller coaster, and I'm terrified of being on a roller coaster, and I don't think I'd ever want to be on a roller coaster. Says it. Not Eunice just called you sassy. I'm sorry, I can never be as sassy as Crystal is. Crystal is beyond sassy. I don't know how she does it. She just said the thing with her. She just says some things, and I'm like, "Wow, you really just said that?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh man, I wish I could be on her level." She just says shit. Yeah, but Crystal is special. Special needs? Nah, she's very cute. I love Crystal. I'm glad Crystal is my friend. She's very cute. And very sweet, even though she doesn't act sweet a lot of the time. She has a good heart. You just can't see it. No, all things said and done, she's very cute. And I love Crystal. Crystal is a fucking tsundere. Oh, Crystal is Crystal. Something that I really like about Crystal is she shares this one trait with me where she gets really possessive of her friends. Like, she's like, oh, do I know more about you or does this other person know more about you type thing. Like, she gets in a competitive mode. And I don't know, man, it makes me feel very nice. It makes me feel very special, okay? I can't see it, I have to look too far. Alright, buddy. Alright. Alright, I see what you're on about. Band moderator. You have failed at the one job. I'm joking. Leak no MF changed from casual friends to competitive. She did. I mean, it's very cute. I think it's very sweet. I take no offense to this. Anyone that she's done this in front of, they took no offense to it. It was really cute. Honestly, she's going to ranked. I mean, she was playing Valorant and Fortnite today on stream. So, yes, I know, Big Al, but honestly, I was watching her play Valorant and Fortnite, and I was like, what if I got Valorant for myself and then she made her teach me how to play on stream? Like, we both do a stream together, and then she just teaches me how to play. I think that would be pretty funny. Massive L. A more massive L than playing Valorant and Fortnite is playing League of Legends, bro. This is coming from someone who has never played League of Legends. Watching their Val would be either funny or painful. Why can't it be both? The thing is, I've played Valorant before. Funny pain. Man, that sounds really weird like, without context. Because that reminds me of how some people call some things the funny bone. So funny pain just sounds like...
Water, thank you for the water. Thank you very much for the water.
Water has been sipped. Thank you for keeping me hydrated. I would have forgotten. Oh yeah. Somehow the last week of my internship has been the most painful, and I think it's mainly because H2 has entered the cat. I think it's mainly because I've been very sick. I'm still sick, and especially today and yesterday I've been especially sick. I don't know why. It's like my body is in pain. Breathing is difficult because my nose is blocked, and like trying to unblock it is hurting my sinuses. No, shit cat. Hi, Eric. Welcome. Ooh, new PNG tuber. Yes, all thanks to Moss. My hands are a little occupied. Donut, please. You always been sick. I can't tell if that's a compliment or an insult. Like, which type of sick do you mean?
Look sick, thank you. I try my best.
Pick your poison with this one. Insane, bro. Thank you so much, Donut. But yes, Moss is an amazing artist who drew this entire. You see the background, you see the chat background, you see the logo, you see this PNG tuber. Everything was done by him, and it looks so good. Honestly, and please go support him. He's very hardworking, and just generally a very good person, a very cool person. If you want to commission him, I don't know if his commissions are open, but you can see if you want to commission him, because he is amazing to work with as well. He's very chill, very amazing, very kind, and I think he is like, how should I put this? He is like the community celebrity. Whenever he shows up on stream, everyone's like, oh my god, it's Moss! My birthday was actually kind of good. My friend brought me, ooh, happy belated birthday. And, I'm glad your birthday went well. I was gonna say something, then you said to do that, and I fucking forgot what I wanted. Oh! Bro, it's brainwashed, motherfuckers. Clicker trained. Oh, I remembered. Halfway through the week, I saw someone say you were sick, and I suddenly just went, why sick get better soon at you? Yeah. Someone snitched to Donut, telling him I was sick, and he immediately DMs me like, why are you sick? Please get better soon. I'm like, huh? Huh? How did you know? I'm old. It's okay. It's okay to be old. I'm proud of you. I'll get snitched on. I have a few oldie friends. They're very cool. I've got some granddads as friends. Akashi being one of them. There's Akashi, there's Metalhead. They're actually not that old, I'm just joking. Yeah, cool people. Also, both are content creators. Grandpa. How do I say that word? I didn't think I'd make it to 42. Well, welcome to 42. I'm glad you made it. It's always an experience whenever you make it to a certain age. Jesus, what is that sentence? Yeah. But it's always such an experience when you reach that age that when you were younger, you didn't think you'd make. For me, it was the age of 16 or 17. I don't remember. I remember, I was like, yeah, when I was like 14, I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna survive till 16. Um, and then I turned 16, and then I turned 17, and I was like, man, what the fuck happened? It's so warm, it is. Are you talking about the temperature or just the feeling? Because the feeling is also very warm and comforting. Because it just feels so like, man, I'm really here, you know? Like, we got this far, even though we didn't think we would. I'm gonna get past 25 and I don't have it. Don't say that. Also, please take care of your diet and your habits. And don't set a limit for how long you're gonna live. It's not good. It makes it's not a good feeling. Don't do that. I've noticed that a lot of people's main issues stem from them setting a time limit for how long they have to do something. And while yes, Sanjana, I'm sweating. Oh, you meant the temperature. Okay. I forgot what I was going on about. Oh yeah. Majority of the people that I've talked to and they're really losing it about some problem in their life, they're losing it because they think they don't have enough time to fix that problem. Or they don't have enough time to sort things out. Which is not true. And I think this is a huge cage that the world has put us in, like a mental cage where it's like, oh, this, if you reach this age, it means you should be achieving these set of things, and if you don't, you're a fucking loser. That's not fucking true, bro. It's fucking stupid. You've got your whole life to achieve whatever the hell you want. And there's stressors in your day-to-day life anyways. Why stress yourself out thinking about, oh shit, I have only till this age to succeed in this or achieve this? You don't. You do things at your own pace. I'm not the only one who forgets. I never said you were. I'm still gonna make fun of you for forgetting. Hate the heat? I understand. The heat here can be very bad too. However, it's been raining a lot here, so that's good. I do enjoy the rain. Fuck, the script said it wants to. Exactly. Like, obviously, there are certain things, and you have to find the line between, you know, how much you should follow society's rules and how much you shouldn't, because obviously you can turn into an absolute deviant to the point where it's bad for you and everyone around you. It's like finding that balance between, I know that I'm only doing this because the world needs me to or wants me to, but I do not believe in the thing that I'm doing, but it is for mere survival. Grow corn in your yard. Ungovernable. Insane. But I feel like where a lot of people struggle with is finding that, midpoint where it's like, you're not just going entirely out of hand to the point it's bad for you and you have lost all your survival instinct, but also it's a slow process. Change in society doesn't happen so fast, especially if it's something that you have to force. So that's my idea of it. Take things slow. You want to make a change, take it slowly. You can't become an absolute deviant overnight and then expect people to just be okay with it, because that's one thing that humans are bad at. Humans are terrible at accepting change, and that's part of the reason why so many minorities, right? That's part of the reason why racism happens. fucking homophobia happens is because the moment there's something that people aren't used to or aren't familiar with, they start losing it, and their first response is negative. This is not me, you know, in any way justifying racism or homophobia or anything of the sort. It's just a little bit of an observation where it's like, of course, people are gonna lose their shit when something that they're not used to is becoming widespread. Um, but it takes emotional intelligence to actually learn to accept things that they know aren't hurting them. Unfortunately, most people don't have that emotional intelligence. So, forgive me for my rant about this. I have very strong feelings. Says sometimes in Mexico, people let some corn get infected by fungus and inflates and darkens the grains. Mushroom flavor. And she's like, well, that is interesting. Is it like similar to how people make yogurt or curd? Because yogurt is basically like, you put it out, put milk out for a while, let bacteria get to it, it thickens, turns to curd, or yogurt, whatever you want to call it. Technically the same thing, right? Close enough, I guess. Mm-hmm. Now, describing cheese is basically the same. Cheese? I honestly don't know how cheese is made. I've seen curd being made, so I know how curd is made. I got no fucking clue about cheese, bro. Every time I hear cheese, it reminds me of this meme I saw where it was like a Tumblr post. It was like, you can control an American with cheese. Someone replied to that saying, but cheese is so good though. Original poster replies to that saying, I found one. Cheese is rotten milk that you let bacteria ferment it. I mean, so is curd, no? I mean, is that not how curd is made, or am I stupid? I mean, are you gonna call me stupid? You wouldn't want to call me stupid, would you? I would never. I see. So what were you gonna say? Uh, Give me one moment. I'll read your message once I get back. So I need to go put away my plate. Alright, I'm back. Depending on which bacteria you use, you get a different kind of cheese. There's also, if you want or not, maggots on it. Maggots on it? What the fuck? Nice weather. There's a kind of cheese with fly larvae in. I call it maggot. That is insane. That is wild. That is diabolical. Oh my god. I think the dog is going insane downstairs. You can hear it, yep. Only reason she's going insane is because I think she's by herself right now. And the only reason that is because she tried to go fight with who was good. Hi, Jackson, welcome. The only reason she's alone downstairs is because she tried to go fight with the street dogs. Got my father in an accident. Oh yeah, that happened. My father got in an accident. There was a lot of blood everywhere. Kind of cheese is straight up illegal in the EU because if you don't chew well enough, the larvae basically cause you food poisoning. That is fucking insane. That is fucked up. What kind of cheese is it? I need to look it up so I can avoid it, please. Cause what the fuck, man? Ugh. Oh, I'm so sniffly. Anyway, let me see. Creepy pasta. We were reading Candle Cove. Someone pinged Zoe, actually. I remember Zoe really liked Candle Cove. Zoe. Candle Cove. So we read Candle Cove. We read a Candle Cove anecdote. We read Candle Cove experiences, Tales of the Laughingstock. We finished Lullaby Rock, a Candle Cove memoir, right? The cheese is Karsu Marzu? What the fuck name is that? Which translates to rotten cheese. Interesting. But anyways, as I was saying, did we finish Lullaby Rock? Let me open this and see. The weapon is here. Hi, boss. We were just talking about you. Hi, Hugo. Welcome back. Will this work? There we go. Did it send onto the YouTube? Do I have to do all the hard work? Copy. Paste. There we go.
Will you check out Mozzie's amazing artist? He's the one who made this whole thing.
Um, that you were so goated with this. Basically, should be sending the links. I don't know. I'll let you do it next time. Window capture. Hello, window capture. Uh-oh. That is not what I want y'all to see. Thank you so much for the follows. Follow Forest Dweller. Found out I'm gonna be an uncle again. Congratulations. I have no clue what's going on. I just got back. Oh, Moss dropped by and also Forest. If I could speak. Forest Dweller followed me. Very happy. Thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you so much for the follow, Forest Dweller. Drink water, green woman. Oh, by the way, please go check out Forest Dweller. This is the gnome person we were talking about last stream. The what person? The gnome person? Now we see what happens when I don't do anything with Lurk. Are you ready for the shit show tomorrow? I am honestly scared. I am not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm actually scared. Because I'm just gonna be honest here. I'm very shit at games. I'm actually just terrible at games. And having people be in the game with me, especially it's people that I don't really know all that well, it's a little nerve-wracking, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. You know what I'm saying? There we go. There we go. I will yell at you. Better be. I will yell at you if you fuck something up. No, please don't yell at me. I will cry on the spot. Don't yell at her. She will cry and throw. This is true. I will start crying on the spot. We are a chill bunch. That much I know. Yell at Cat. Will be funny. I fucking hate you. Have I missed something? What shit show? Oh, tomorrow's collab, Abiotic Factor collab stream. Because the only reason it's a shit show is because I'm terrible at games. And it's on top of that, I've been playing with a bunch of people that I don't really know. I did go out of my way to check everyone out. Thank you so much for the monster, Hugo. Oh. I did go out of my way to check everyone out. What do you mean you talked about me? Oh, I'm pretty sure, like, we were at some point, I was looking for someone to raid. And then I saw you were streaming. And I was like, oh yeah, well, let's go to this gnome person. You all will like him very much. He's playing this game. I forgot which game we were playing. I think we were playing Warhammer. But I was like, oh yeah, you bunch will love this game. Because all of you are nerds and whatnot. And, I did it once for like 6 hours straight at 4 a.m. You can select a chief class and just cook food. I see. Yeah, no, I know you guys are chill. I mean, I know Akushi is making good at friends, good at making friends. I am going insane. Oh yeah, we did read this. NASA, the envelope from NASA. Yep, we did read this. Let's go back then. Let's read Down in the Dark. I'm pretty sure this is the next one. Because Day of the Dead is 2013, 18th June. How are these supposed to on the same day, bro? Anyways, either way, we will read this next. Nine minutes of reading. Are we getting slandered? No, never. Totally not setting you up for a stupid. What? Dear God, the COVID handling. Making good at friends. Shut up. 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 Thank you for the stretch. Oh. Holy shit. Everything cracked. Everything cracked. Oh my God, everything cracked. Oh. The spine. That did indeed crack. Anyways. Time takes it all, whether you want it to or not. And in the end, there is only darkness. Sometimes we find others in that darkness. Sometimes we lose them there again. Stephen King, The Green Mile. I'm a grown woman, and I'm well past needing my father to come save me. But even so, I wish he were here now. I guess I never realized before just how much he's always been there for me. Sometimes I wonder. Wait, let me start from the beginning. When I was 6 years old, I became obsessed with seeing the pirate show. I overheard a kid at school talking about it. He said it was a puppet show about a little girl who's friends with pirates, and that it was on in the afternoon. Once I heard that, I had to see it. You know how little kids get obsessed with one particular thing for no reason? I think that's called autism. For me, that thing was pirates. I'm still not sure why, but hey, I was 6. The boy did not want to tell me what channel it was on, but after I pestered him enough, he gave in. After school, I ran to the TV to wait for 4 o'clock. But when the time came, nothing was there. The channel was just static. I flipped through all the stations looking for the show. The next day, I accused the boy of making the whole thing up, but another girl in the class said no, the show was real. She'd seen it too. I asked her why I couldn't find it, and she didn't have an answer. The boy said that really I shouldn't watch it anyway. But he would not say why. And after that, he stopped talking to me at all. Every day at 4, I sat in front of the TV hoping that the pirate show would magically appear. I even asked Dad to call their local affiliate and ask about it. Dad would do almost anything for me. But they said they'd never heard of it. I was crushed. Months went by, the school year ended, and I became less zealous in my 4 o'clock vigil. But I would still check from time to time. One day I went down to the basement where Dad kept the old black and white TV in his workroom. Back then I had the idea that different TV sets showed different shows, so I would always check both if I couldn't find what I wanted on. It was 4 o'clock and I turned to channel 58, just like always, but this time something was different. I heard static, but underneath it, just barely there, I heard music. Strange, bouncy, Calio music. I don't know how to pronounce this word. And although the channel was still scrambled, I could just barely make out a picture. There, after all this time, was the pirate show. There was a little girl, and there were the pirate marionettes. And there was a ship with the talking figurehead. It was just like the kids at school described. Of course, the picture was a mess, and I could only hear half the dialogue, but I didn't care. I was ecstatic. I don't remember much about the program. It was half over by the time I turned it on. The only thing I really do remember was the part where the little girl and the pirate are standing outside of a cave, and the ship tells them, "You have to go inside." Just like that. I guess it doesn't sound like much, but at that moment I became very scared. And I turned the TV off and I almost ran out of the basement. Suddenly I wasn't interested in the pirate show anymore. That should have been the end of it, and in fact, I'd like to think that was. I'd like to think that was what happened. I like to think that what happened next was all a dream or the product of a 6-year-old's imagination. For most of the last 40 years, that's exactly what I have thought, but now I've started to wonder. That night, probably around 2 o'clock in the morning, I went to use the bathroom. I was never scared of the dark when I was a kid. And in fact, I was a little proud of how I felt brave enough to wander around our old creaky house with no lights on. On the way back, I noticed that the basement door was open, just a crack. And I heard something down in the basement. It was that strange, jumbled circus music from the show. It was still playing. I stood there for a long time, not sure what to do. I heard the music and the voices of the characters drifting up the basement stairs, plain as day. They were very loud, and there was no more static. There was no more noisy static. I told myself that I had simply left the television on, even though I knew I hadn't, and that Dad had somehow missed it before going to bed, even though I knew he would never. Yes, that would almost make sense. Except that it didn't explain why a kids show, which up until that afternoon seemed never to be on at all, would be on at 2 in the morning. I was, as I've said, never a child afraid of the dark, or of much of anything else, so despite the strange circumstances, I resolved to go down and turn the old TV off and go back to bed. It didn't seem like a completely good idea, I'll admit, but I certainly wasn't going to run away from a television. I opened the basement door all the way and would probably have gone down if not for the fact that at the very moment I prepared to put my little bare foot on the first basement step, I heard that voice again. You have to go inside. But it did not sound as if it were coming from the television. There are limits to what even the bravest 6-year-old will do, and I had reached them. So I ran all the way to Dad's room and woke him up. He listened very calmly to my story, and when I was done, he picked me up and carried me with him to the basement door. There was no music now, and no voices, just darkness and silence. He set me down as he prepared to go downstairs. I wanted to stop him. I was sure all of a sudden that whatever was down there, I didn't want my daddy to be down there with it. But I couldn't think of anything to say. So I just watched as he marched down those dark steps one at a time. I have never been as frightened as I was for those minutes that my father was down in that basement. A part of me was certain he was never coming back. I even imagined that maybe something else would come back instead, but I wasn't sure what. But of course he came back. He said that I'd left the TV on just like I thought. I asked him what was on it and he said, nothing. Just that. Nothing. And then he tucked me back into bed and sang to me and stroked my hair until I fell asleep. I loved my father very much. After that, I more or less forgot about the whole thing. If it even crossed my mind in the years to come, I chalked it up as a nightmare. Dad never mentioned it either. There is one thing I noticed, though, that I never really thought about until tonight. Dad got rid of that old TV shortly after. In fact, he stopped watching television altogether. And he stopped working in the basement, too. After I went to college, he canceled the service and got rid of the other TV. And as far as I know, never got another one. I wonder about that now. Just like I wonder about those times as a little girl when I would catch my father staring off at nothing with his head tilted a little to one side, like he was listening to something, a song or a voice that only he could hear. And I wonder whether it's just my imagination or time tampering with my memories, or if my father didn't have a strange look on his face when he came out of the basement that night. And had his voice quavered a little? And hadn't he been down there just a little longer than it should have taken simply to turn off a television set? I guess those are questions only my father could have answered, and now he never will. Today was his funeral, and that's why, tonight, for the first time in 25 years, I'm sleeping in the old house alone. As I lowered his casket into the ground, the unwelcome image of him marching down those basement steps came back to me, and I shivered. This time, when my father went down into the dark, alone, I was sure he would not be back. That was the first time in a long time I thought about the pirate show or the night in the basement. I'd prefer not to keep thinking about it, especially since I have so much else on my mind. But I'm afraid I don't have much choice. You see, when I came in tonight, the basement door was open. I can hear music down there, and voices, ones I haven't heard since I was 6. And I'm sure that if I open the basement door all the way and stand at the top of the stairs, I'll hear another voice telling me that I have to go inside. But I'm sure there is no television down there. I don't want to go. I want to run to my daddy's room and wake him up and have him sing me to sleep again. But of course I can't. I do not think it's a coincidence that this is happening the same day we buried him. I think, somehow, that this is something that my father had been protecting me from for a long time. Or maybe not. Maybe there was nothing sinister in the basement 40 years ago, and maybe there's nothing down there now, and maybe this is just the stress of the funeral making me crack. They tell me that grief can induce hallucinations sometimes. It could be there's nothing to be afraid of in the dark after all. I would very much like to think that's true. I guess once I go down and see, I'll know for sure. I guess if I don't come back, you'll all know too. Good night, Daddy. Sweet dreams. I love you. Man, what the fuck? What the fuck? Wait, dead or rated? Hold on, let me catch up to chat. I think we heard fucking heard a pop there, really. I felt that I cracked my wrist so hard into the mic it peaked. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the raid, Deno! Thank you so much for the raid. Holy shit, I got so scared. Hello raiders. Welcome. Thank you for the raid. I really got jump scared by that. I did. I can't. Thank you so much for the raid, Dead, and welcome raiders. I am Venom Cat. I am a what am I? I'm a vampire cat girl, and I am reading creepypastas today. Where the fuck is the music? Yes, I am reading creepypastas today. Welcome. What am I? This introduction thing is awkward. Okay, I don't. Goddamn, is your back good? Remember to create a 9-scale earthquake with his joints. That's what the moment of exercise does to you. I need to move more. Why do I hear something shaking? What the fuck? I think that might be the fan in this room. The fan is a little loud. I wish wanted to go ride me bike today, but I was getting ready. But the storm started again. I haven't had rain in almost 3 days, plus it's been over 30°C for 20 days. Holy shit. Oh, I just realized it's the no. Looks on you, it's 30°C, rain and hella same. It's kind of the same here. It hasn't rained here in like 2 months. Holy shit. Angry hamster running a wheel or something. Hamster. I think it's your fan. Yeah. Gotta lube the fan. Yep. It's the fan. The fan in this house. It's an old house. I don't know how old the fan is. But the fan is quite loud. The lube is censored. Thank you for the monster, Soviet. I did take a sip. Sorry, a bit early. Didn't even get to the point. Give it a moment. Gets fucking jump scared. I mean, the scare, I just wanted to rate amazing. Aw, thank you. What am I? You're a wizard, Harry. I'm a what? Oh. I'm playing Power Wash Simulator. Ooh. I might have to download Power Wash Simulator again at some point because a friend of mine was saying he downloaded it because he wanted to play with me, and I kind of feel bad now that I don't have it on my device anymore, so I'm gonna download it again. Probably sleep at some. Yes, please go sleep. Please, please, please. Fuck off. Shoo. Go sleep. Do what, you dumb her. Anyways, that was Candle Cove Down in the Dark. Our next one is Day of the Dead. Early 1950s. These days, the people you hear laughing are dead. This I know. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, of course. I thought that's what your job was about. Talking? Actually, Mrs. Chelsea, I would say that my job is about trust. I can't expect people who don't trust me to talk about sensitive things with me. So this session is entirely in your hands. I'll talk about it. Therapy was my idea, after all. They said that since there was just the one incident, it wasn't really necessary, but I thought it was a good idea. Alright then, tell me what happened. It was just a drawing on the sidewalk. A stencil, you know? Artists leave them around the city sometimes, and I was out shopping with my family when my son pointed it out. It was a skeleton wearing a top hat. It had the word Saturday underneath it. What do you think that means? It sounds like Baron something. Who? He's a Loa, a voodoo spirit. He watches over the dead, and he's usually represented by a top hat and a skull. I don't know how to say this, so I'm not gonna... Samedi? I don't know. Means Saturday. So this drawing frightened you? I had a kind of fit when I saw it. They call it an anxiety attack. They even took me to the hospital. And what did they find out? They said there's nothing wrong with me physically. They talked about stress and lack of sleep, and they said I should take it easy, but not to worry unless it happened again. But I'm worried anyway. Has anything like this ever happened before? Once, the same day that my son died. You said your son was the one who noticed the stencil? That's my youngest son, Dylan. I had an older son, Jonah, but he's not with us anymore. He was murdered 5 years ago. I'm very sorry, Mrs. Chelsea. Can I ask if you received any psychological counseling afterwards? No. I was busy with Dylan, you see. Isn't it strange? The day Jonah died was the same day I found out I was pregnant again. And I guess I just poured everything into managing the pregnancy, so that I wouldn't think about anything else, and for years I didn't. Not until this week. Should I talk about the murder? As I said, you don't have to talk about anything you don't want to. I'll talk about it. Jonah was 15. I had him when I was still in high school. He was very gifted. He played the cello and cello, I don't know, and the piano. And they made him the organist at our church. That was what got him into trouble. The minister was friends with my husband, Jonah's stepfather, and he loved to hear Jonah play. So he put him at the organ. Everyone loved him. It wasn't just that Jonah was talented. I guess you could say he had a performance charisma. I'm sorry, it's hard to talk about. It's alright, Miss Chelsea. Should we change the subject? No, I've already said this much. Something people liked about Jonah, he would always play the hymns, but he'd play some of his own music too, before and after the service. He composed his own material. It was very strange sounding, but everyone liked it. Well, almost everyone. One day a man came to us after church and told him to stop. Told him to stop playing? Told him to stop playing his own music. He was very upset. He looked like he hadn't had much sleep. He might have been drunk. He told us that the song Jonah played that day was wrong somehow. That it was driving him crazy. He was screaming at us in the parking lot, telling us that we didn't realize what we were doing, that he'd spent his whole life trying to get away from that music. It didn't make sense. Tell me about the song. It was very odd, now that you mention it. It was bouncy. It made me think of the circus for some reason. It made sense if you knew Jonah, though. He was always playing for laughs. I heard him practicing it in his room. It made me feel unsettled the first time I heard it. And what about this man? Well, that day in the parking lot, he just ran off after scaring the daylights out of us. But the next day, he came back with a gun. Mrs. Chelsea. It was the Day of the Dead, November 1st. I remember that. Someone had left something on the organ after Jonah as a joke. You know those Day of the Dead decorations, the little statuettes of skeletons doing everyday things. Skeleton housewives cooking, or a skeleton barber with scissors and a razor, or a therapist. Huh? I have one that's a skeleton therapist, with a skeleton patient on his couch. A client gave it to me. It's actually quite funny. Oh, well, this one was a skeleton playing the piano. Jonah thought it was hilarious. He showed it to everyone. Nobody would admit to leaving it. Then he started playing. Everyone was enjoying it. He was coming to the end of the song, and then that man from the week before stood up, and then... Where is that man now, Mrs. Chelsea? In a mental hospital. I visited him a few times. He cries a lot and tells me he's sorry. But he says, "You must understand why. You of all people must understand why I did it." I don't know why he says that. But the thing I remember about that day now, that I never remembered before, is that little Day of the Dead statue. The skeleton was wearing a top hat, you see. Ah, so the stencil drawing reminded you of it. No, that wasn't it. I mean, I suppose it did, but... Doctor, I've never told anyone this before, but the day that Jonah was murdered, everyone assumed I was hysterical because of what happened, and I was. But it started before that. It started when I saw that little statuette on the church organ. Something about that figure, the skeleton and the hat. It terrified me. It scared me so bad that I wanted to stand up and shout to Jonah to run away from it. But I was too frightened to even move. And by the time I could, the man with the gun had already... It's alright, Mrs. Chelsea, but you're sure that your fear response started before the shooting, not after? Yes. Yes, I'm sure. So the skeleton and the hat, that image upsets you. Do you know why? I can't imagine. Can you think of the first time you ever saw it? Well, when I was a child, I used to have a nightmare. There was a little girl in a room. Was it you? It might have been. It was hard to tell. Whoever she was in a dark room and she was crying. And all around her were these, I guess, puppets? Or dolls? And they were screaming. The puppets were screaming? Yes, all of them. Screaming, and the little girl was crying. Did you have this nightmare a lot? All the time when I was 5. What does this have to do with the skeleton in the top hat? That was one of the puppets. That's the first time I can remember seeing that image. Well, not seeing exactly, but that's my earliest memory. I see. What did your parents do when you told them about this dream? They took the TV away. Why? They said that I had the dream because of something I saw on TV. Do you remember that? No, and I didn't at the time either, but they insisted. It was actually very strange, now that I think about it. It seemed to scare them somehow. Of course, it's hard to remember. I was so young, you know? Of course. Do you still have this dream? No, that is not until very recently. But you've had it again? Yes, just after the stencil drawing and the anxiety attack. The same night, actually. But only that once. But only that once. And that was the first time in, 40 years, I guess? It's normal, right, to have that dream again after seeing something that reminded me of it? We don't really deal with words like normal or abnormal here, Miss Chelsea. I would say that it is noteworthy that you had the same dream after so long. But I don't think it's something you have to worry about. Can I ask, was anything different about the dream this time? Yes. And what was that? One of the puppets, looked like... It looked like Jonah. It's alright to cry, Miss Chelsea. Here, dry your eyes. I can imagine it was very upsetting, but it's important to remember that dreams are your mind's way of trying to tell us something. Can you remember any other strange dreams about your oldest son? For a while, right after he died, I would have one where I was standing on the shore, watching him sail away on a big ship. That's a very common image. No, not like this. There was something wrong with that ship. Something terrible, and the people on it with him, they weren't people. Not normal people. I had the feeling they were, kidnapping him. Carrying him away like they were pirates? Yes, that's it. And I heard music too. Strange, jumbled circus music. It sounded a little like the song that Jonah played in church. And, come to think of it, he told me that the song came to him in a dream first. It might even have been a dream about a ship. I didn't pay much attention. I remember I even faked having to make a phone call so I could leave the room and stop listening to him talk about it. Isn't that terrible? But at the time, hearing about his dreams upset me very much. Let's move on. Have there been any other incidents lately that have upset you? Anything unusual that's disrupted your regular routine? I'm not sure what's important. Anything might be important. We won't know for sure unless we talk about it. Well, a few weeks ago, this was before the panic attack. I was at a toy store trying to find something for Dylan. He was turning 5 that week. And I found this thing. It was a doll, but not a normal one. It was like a little parrot, but its head was one from a porcelain baby doll, and from a porcelain baby doll, the old kind. It looked like something a serial killer would make in their basement. And that bothered you? Well, it was horribly ugly. I asked the owner, and she said she'd found it when she was cleaning out the storeroom. She had no idea where it came from. She wasn't sure whether she should sell it or not. I told her to throw it away. It scared me. I guess it sounds silly now. Why would something like that get to me so much? To grind your skin. What? I said things get under your skin. I thought you said... Never mind. There was something else too. As I was cleaning my son's room the next day, I thought I saw that same doll in there. Thought you did? As I was cleaning under his bed, something caught my eye. It was that red bandana. And I saw that little doll's face staring at me with those cracked, painted eyes. And I swear, I just about screamed. But when I looked under the bed again, it wasn't there. And I told myself I just imagined it. But... are all these things really important? Oh yes, Mrs. Chelsea. I'd say we're making great progress. With these sorts of things, you have to go inside. What did you say? You have to go inside of your mindset, inside of your issues. But why did you say it that way the first time? I'm not sure what you mean. Doctor, let's move on. It seems that your anxiety is being triggered by some very specific imagery. Tell me when else it's come up. Tell me, Mrs. Chelsea, please. My neighbor, she had Halloween decorations up on her house for weeks. And there was one that was a kind of skeleton that hung in her window. The sort of thing you'd buy at a drugstore this time of the year. It stared at. It startled me when I looked out my window and saw it. It was like it was looking right into my house. It had big glass eyes that were too large for its skull. That bothered me. I had such a strange feeling when I saw it. The first time I thought to myself, he's found me. It just popped into my head, and a second later I couldn't have told you what it means. But that's not what scared me. What did? My neighbor took all the other decorations off her house after Halloween, but she kept that one. Every morning I'd see the thing staring into my window, and finally one day I mentioned to her, very casually, that it was almost Thanksgiving and she really ought to take that last Halloween decoration off. And she said, I don't know what you're talking about. It's been gone for weeks. Was it there when you looked out the window again? No. Do you think it was ever really there to begin with? I don't know. What else has been on your mind? Dylan. He's a very bright child, like his brother. And they look alike. But he's not a musician. Instead, he draws. Has he been making strange pictures? How did you know? Lucky guess. Do go on, Mrs. Chelsea. I feel sick. I feel like the room is moving. It's your imagination. Tell me about Dylan's pictures. They're of a sailing ship, but not a normal one. It has a figurehead at the front of it. That's too big. And it talks. The figurehead talks? Yes. How do you know that if it's just a picture? I just know. He's been drawing it for weeks and weeks over and over. And sometimes he draws other things too. Strange things. Terrible things. But things you recognize. Yes. Where have you seen these things before, Mrs. Chelsea? In my dreams, and on the television, when I was 5 years old. The show came on every day, and I was scared of it, but I watched it anyway. And when I tried to get my parents to watch it with me, they said, what did they say? That there was no show. And I didn't understand what they meant. And that's when the nightmare began. And I remember now, that's where I first heard that song. The strange one that Jonah played. That's why I was upset when I heard it, because it reminded me of that show. And I thought maybe that's why the man at the church was upset by it too. I guess as I grew up, I kind of forgot about the whole thing, but you didn't forget, did you? You never forget the things that are really important in childhood. I guess you don't. And we didn't forget about you either. What? I said they didn't forget. No, you didn't. You said we. We didn't forget about you. Well, it's true. We didn't forget. We've been waiting for you, Janice, all this time. Dr. Horace, why are you laughing like that? Dr. Horace? I'm not a doctor. And you see, this isn't a doctor's office at all, is it? It's the cabin of a ship. That's why it's moving. That's why you start to feel seasick. What's going on? You're off on an adventure on the high seas, Janice, just like the ones on television when you were a little girl. The ones we made just for you. Stop talking like that and stop calling me that too. My name isn't Janice. But it could be. You'd make as good of a Janice as anyone, and think how much better life would be if you were. Janice never had a murdered son. Janice never had to worry that she was losing her mind. Janice only had adventures all the time. But they were so awful. So frightening. Well, being a child is always a little frightening, isn't it? But you won't be alone here. All of your old friends are on board. And we have some news. And we have some new ones too. News. Even Jonah is here. Jonah? Oh yes, he's been just the best little crew member for us. And he's been waiting for you. Just think about how wonderful it will be to see him again, and to see everyone else too. All one big happy crew together. But what about Dylan? Your other boy? Oh, don't worry about him. We'll get around to him in due time. But do you hear that, Janice? I hear a voice. And what is it telling you? I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to be here. I want to go home. This is home, Janice. This is the home we made for you. The home that's been waiting for you. The home that you'll be in forever and ever. The voice that you hear, why, that's the voice of your new home. And what is it saying? What is it saying, Janice? It's saying that I have to go inside. Oh my god! Oh my god. The stream timer is It broke for a second, it's fine now, that's good. Because for anyone who has just joined, I've been streaming for an hour and 21 minutes. Oh. The spooky, scary skeletons are in their mind. Hello, Sir Leon Pro. Welcome. We just dropped by for a second. Yeah, we were just reading, creepypasta. Oh my god. What I missed, I guess it was pretty nice. 1 hour, 25 minutes, I've been clearing Kentucky from the zomboids. Interesting. I'm glad you're enjoying. But yeah, that was freaky, bro. I hope it didn't, like, cut out for too long. That would make me very upset, man. I'm 10 and this didn't scare me. Alright, buddy. Candle Cove is so good, man. Me and the homies love Candle Cove. How many are there? There is Candle Cove 1. Candle Cove Anecdote 2. Experiences Tales of the Laughing Stock 3. Lullaby Rock 4. Candle Cove Down in the Dark 5. Day of the Dead 6. There are 6 parts to this Candle Cove series. For like 5 seconds at most, you're all good. Okay, that's good. Thank you. So yeah, that was Candle Cove. How do we feel about Candle Cove, guys? Rate it 1 out of 1 to 10. I cover the Candle Cove good. When I was young, this was my favorite creepypasta. I did not know there were so many other versions, and I think they came around later. Or after I was already done going through all the ones that were still published. I read a Candle Cove. Was SCP a creepypasta? I mean, people have suggested that I read some SCP stuff for these. And we will get to them eventually. Let me see. Where is the thingy thing? Suggestions and feedback. Candle. No! Candle Cove. Full. So we have finished Jeff the Killer, Slender Man, Tiki Toby. Laughing Jack, Eyeless Jack, Smile Dog, Russian Sleep Experiment, and Candle Cove. Um, mm, oh, you know what I want to read? There is a bunch that Winter sent. It's time to read SCP-999. Well, if you guys want, because I was thinking I wanted to read that thing, whatchamacallit. Where is it? Squidward something. Because I've heard that's also a very popular creepypasta. If I could type. This shit. Television and Lost Episodes, Famous Creepypasta, Strange and Unexplained, Creepypasta Classes, Famous Creepypasta, Lost Episodes, SpongeBob, SquarePants, Squidward Suicide, Squidward Suicide Creepypasta, Squidward Suicide Original Story, Television shows, TV shows, 9 minutes of reading. It's like 7, it's not 9 minutes, it's 7 minutes at most. Alright, after this we will read SCP. People have been begging for it for a while, so we will get to it. Let's see. Estimated reading time 7 minutes. I just want to start off by saying, if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There isn't one. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005, from a degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course, most internships aren't, but it did have some perks beyond education. To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but the kids at the time would go crazy over it. Now, since I worked directly with the editors and animators, I got to view the new episodes days before they aired. I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity. So it took them longer to start up the season, but the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months. Me and 2 other interns were in the editing room along with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. We received the copy that was supposed to be Fear of a Krabby Patty and gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given that it isn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card, sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles, such as "How Sex Doesn't Work" instead of Rockabye by Valve. I don't know. When SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a scallop. I don't know. My mouth feels weird. Hold on. Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke. One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. The happy-go-lucky music plays as is normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says, okay, and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen comes up and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things began to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with animation, so yes, that's not common. But when he stops playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never happened. There is slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not normal cartoon booing that is common in the show, but you could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in center frame, and he too is booing, very much unlike him. That isn't the oddest thing, though. What is odd is everyone had hyper-realistic eyes, very detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. The shot goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is, at this point, there is no sound. Literally no sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. As if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly. He just sat there blinking, in this silence for about 30 seconds. Then he started to sob softly. He put his hands, tentacles, over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more, all the while a sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart side by side. His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if twists in on itself for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is the sound, and Squidward sobbing sounded real. As if it wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes the sound was coming through from the other side. As good as sound the studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to be that good to produce sound of that quality. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second, so you had a hard time pinning it. We watched this show twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I have had time to think about them. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently and something flashed over the screen, as if a single frame were replaced. The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloodied, one eye dangling over his upturned face, popped. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open and his entrails laying beside him. He was laying on some pavement that was probably a road. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer. There was no crime tape, no evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death. We were of course mortified but pressed on, hoping that it was just a sick joke. The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body in frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if you touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers. The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There was even snapping sounds of branches. The laughing, a deep baritone, lasting at longer intervals and coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but he knew he had to. This time, the photo was out of what appeared to be a little girl no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach, her barrettes in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was too popped out and popped, naked except for underpants. Her entrails were piled on top of her, above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street and the photographer's shadow was visible. Very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. The show resumed. About 5 seconds after this second photo played, Squidward went silent, as did all sound, like it was when the scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyperrealism like the others were in the beginning of this episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He just stared at the screen, as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud, and most fear-inducing of all is the sobbing was mixed with screams. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep-voiced laughing. And this time, the still photo lasted for a good 5 frames. The animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up. This time, the photo was of a boy, about the same age, and this time the scene was different. The entrails were just being pulled out from a stomach wound by a large hand. The right eye popped and dangling, blood trickling down it. The animator proceeded. It was hard to believe, but the next one was different, but we couldn't tell what. He went on to the next, same thing. He went back to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor. The animating and sound editors gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not as if they were 5 different photos. They were played out as if they were frames from a video. We saw the hand slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focus on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink. The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call in the creator to see this. Mr. Hillenberg arrived within about 15 minutes. He was confused as to why he was called down there, so the editor just continued the episode. Once the few frames showed, all screaming, all sound again stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer, full frame of the face, for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out, and that deep voice said, "Do it." And we see in Squidward's hands a shotgun. He immediately puts the shotgun in his mouth and pulls the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter splatters the wall behind him and his bed, and he flies back with the force. The last 5 seconds of this episode show his body on the bed, on his side, one eye dangling on what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly at it. Then the episode ends. Mr. Hillenberg is obviously angry at this. He demanded to know what the heck was going on. Most people left the room at this point, so it was just a handful of us to watch it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and cause me horrible nightmares. I'm sorry I stayed. The only theory we could think of was the file was edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to analyze when it happened. The analysis of the file did show it was edited over by new material. However, the timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds before we began viewing it. All equipment involved examined for foreign software and hardware as well as glitches, as if the timestamp may have glitched and showed the wrong time. But everything checked out fine. We don't know what happened, and to this day nobody does. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it. No child scene was identified and no clues were gathered from the data involved, nor physical clues in the photos. I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before, but now that I have something happen and can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about things. Yeah, this is, yeah. The MC is an intern. You can relate to him. Bro. That was brutal. That was, yeah. The low-key, the creepypasta was bad. It was shock horror. Cheap shock horror. I mean, I wouldn't say so. So a freak puts 3 murders on spot. Yeah, basically. I wouldn't say it was cheap shock horror. I mean, again, my opinion of shock horror is shock horror can be good if done correctly or in a proper way. If it's just cheap, then obviously. So I guess you are right, but still it was shock horror. Because you only get scared by how gore is described. That is true. I mean, the whole thing is just, oh my god, ooh, gore, oh my god, ooh, blood, oh my god, ooh, organs everywhere. Squidward suicide. Man, I wonder what happened. Abandoned by Disney. I don't know what that is. I have not heard of it, I'm not gonna lie. Fucking edgies with their over-gore fight descriptions. Reminder, suicide isn't the answer, it's an ending with no return. That is true. There is... This is a heavy topic, so we will not talk about it. However, I hope everyone knows. Again, like how it's early on, process suicide isn't the answer. It's coming from someone who has been in certain mindsets and certain states of bad mental health in the past, like really, really bad. It's not the answer. No matter how much it feels like no one cares about you, no matter how shit life is, I can promise you there's always, always someone who does, and like, eventually you realize it too late. Read that one, please. Abandoned by Disney? I'm down on my knees, please read. Oh my god, okay, okay. Ah. It's nowhere. What is it supposed to be called on the Creepypasta website? Because it's clearly not abandoned by Disney. Why is there one called I Hate Lightning McQueen? I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna need to know what the name is itself on. Hold on. Let me look it up on the Google. Abandoned by Disney. Pastaland wiki. It's on a wiki page. It's not on the creepypasta itself. Ugh. This is quite long. Abandoned by Disney. This shit is long. Hold on. I need to show you guys something. I need to show you guys something really funny. So I'm on the wiki, right? So I'm on the wiki. Look at my recents. Soul Gallery, obviously. More Soul. Just Soul. Lucifer, Obey Me Wiki. Nagi no Komaeda. Hasan and Pierto. This is the last time I opened fandom, this is what it was. Pierto. Oh. Pierto will consume us. No, I think we are going to consume Pierto.
Hold on.
All hail the pear. All hail these nuts. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. Then I swear. You swear? You shouldn't swear. We're on stream. Don't swear. Swearing bad. Oh. You're on stream, I'm not. I mean, you technically are. You know? The adults aren't watching because of naughty words. Job! Close your eyes, I'm not here. Yes, you are. You don't want to be here? You don't want to be on my stream? Isn't this 18 plus so we can say stuff because the kids aren't here? It's supposed to be 18 plus. The kids aren't supposed to be here, theoretically. I'm just saying. But they here. And that's a problem. Spies have already breached our defenses. The defenses. A tag. I mean, that's realistically, that's the most I can do, right?
Thank you for the stretch on your monster. Ow,
ow, ow. Oh. It's tiny little boy, and you're here because? Why are you at an 18 plus stream, my bro? I'm not gonna lie, I forgot I had the 18 plus tag on because I did have it on for last time, I think. I forget for what. I think it was because of Andy and Lele. But yeah, I completely forgot I had 18 plus tag. I want to make friends. Andy and Lele is reasonable to have 18 plus on. Yeah. I knew what was coming, so I had to. I'll let it slide for this stream. Next time, if you see an 18 plus tag, please respect it. It's as simple as that. I get most of us have had unrestricted internet access since we were like 5. I've seen viewers that often offending Lele. I'm too far gone anyway. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna sound very mean. I'm gonna sound really mean, you mean adult too. But it is my responsibility, since it is my stream. If there's a tag that says 18 plus, keep that in mind. Now, I can only go so far with doing something about it. Whatever you see on here, or happens on here, or here on here, whatever happens in 18 plus streams, you are entirely responsible. If you are a minor and you still choose to be here, you didn't despite the warning, whatever happens, completely your responsibility. That is all I will say. Don't make this difficult for the rest of us. All we ask is respect a tag if it's placed there. That is all. Don't force us to act on it, please. Yes, thank you, Donut. That is all. That's the whole thing. Do not force us to act on it. Yeah, fair enough. Also, duty calls and go kill zombies. I can see you again someday, guys. Bye bye. Thank you for dropping by. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. I know you guys wanted me to read this. Disneyland. Abandoned by Disney. But I'm gonna beg you to be kind and let me not do it for today. Because I'm already getting very tired. And I'd also like to just chat with you guys for a bit. I really like chatting with you people. I genuinely enjoy just chatting with you guys. So I would like to do that for a bit before I hop off. Also, Soviet, it's not about... So... You have to understand that if there's an 18+ stream, let's say, the responsibility will not be on you, technically speaking. It will be on us as the adults. So if not for yourself, to respect us. That is the thing. Because us as adults, we have the responsibility. Me as a streamer, the mods. It's our responsibility to make sure that things are in line, right? And that is why I'm trying to make this a strict rule. And I'm trying to do it as respectfully as I possibly can. If there's an 18+ tag somewhere, especially if it concerns another person, you know? Maybe don't put us in trouble. Sick cat needs rest. I do. Oh, I need to stop shrimping, man. Yeah, Pacino time. It makes things real awkward for the rest of us. Yeah, technically, basically, yes. But yeah, I've been shrimping. Oh, shrimping in the sense that, posture is terrible. The only person I shrimp for is Saul from Kid at the Back. Man, I love that motherfucker. Let's be real, you're shrimping all the way. I just got earbuds about MK video. Oh. Who is this? Said herself before I could be sassy. I have no shame. I truly don't. I just say things, man. I just say things. Because I think saying things would be very funny. Thank you for this strange monster for the sick cat. I don't think. Ah. Oh, I know you have no shame. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have more shame than I seem. I have more shame than I let on. Man, I love this shit so much. It's so good. Have a good time, y'all. I'm gonna go eat until my GF calls me. Man, good for you. The sips are fucking crazy. What sips? Okay, bro, be like that. I am doing monster drinking ASMR. You don't like it? You don't like my monster drinking ASMR? What the fuck are you here for then? You don't like my monster drinking ASMR? So you hate me? So you hate my guts and you want me to cry and throw up? Don't put words in my mouth. I'm gonna put something else in your mouth. I'm joking. Ah. Wow. Oh, shut up, is I just can't curse for 5 minutes. Cool. Get into the fruition or you take it. I'm here for the pasta. I'm not gonna lie, I read that and I was like, what is he talking about? What pasta? And I was like, oh wait, cream pasta. I'm actually dumb. I'm actually stupid. So I have been condemned to not curse for 5 minutes. You making pasta? I went to this place recently and their pasta it's very salty, but oh my god, it's so good. Give pasta, I'm hungry. Listen, man, I want pasta too. You have to cook something else. Reminds me of Walter White. um. Who are you? Oh, never mind. And no, I'm not getting in the oven. Maybe you missed the part where it's not your choice. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad. No one said anything about an oven. You're overreacting. Well, I'm saying something about an oven now. Different persons. I mean, come on. Like, ha, 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 you know? Giggle, giggle. Giggle. Giggle, giggle, tee hee. Wait, I can. Ooh. Hold on. Copy. One is no choice, the other was gaslight. What's gaslight? Fricker are going to put me on the bonfire of cannibal tribe. What's gaslight, bro? I don't know what you're on about. What the hell is gaslight? I know gas. I know light. I've never seen those two words being put together in one big word. Gaslight, gatekeep, grow slay. Big slay even. Slay. Okay, so we are rating Sleepy Kit. I've known this person for a while. We just haven't talked a lot. It's a thing on the stove vent. Light. Thank you for the raid message. Or like making it pop up, but we are rating Sleepy Kit. I think you guys will like them. They have very chaos energy. They're also a cat girl, I think. So, be nice and don't embarrass me. Bye bye. Okay, Sleepy Kit has been rated for Twitch at least. Okay, I now I can rate on Twitch, YouTube. No, not trailer. I'm actually dumb. I can't find anyone. Holy shit. Where is YouTube? Oh, hold on. Hold on, hold on. No one for me to rate on YouTube. That's fine. Thank you so much for dropping by, everyone. Bye bye.